one emirate, two emirs. Yep, that's Kano State. This is reminiscent of the War of the Roses, a dynastical struggle that took place in the medieval England from 1455 to 1485, when King Henry VI of Lancaster and King Edward IV of the House of York both claimed the right to the English throne. This led to a series of bloody battles and power struggles between the two royal houses. For Kano State, the ancient city in northwest Nigeria, tension is building as the Emirship Standoff enters its third day. Emir Mohammed Sanusi II was reinstated by Governor Abba Yusuf on Friday after signing a law by the House of Assembly abrogating the creation of new emirates by the former governor Ganduje's administration. Emir Sanusi II's return to the throne is after a 4-year hiatus following his deposition in 2020. But there is a hurdle to cross. An order from the Federal High Court restraining the state government from implementing the new Kano Emirate Council law. Governor Abba Yusuf has dismissed the merit of the injunction because it was issued after a new emir was already appointed. Emir Mohammed Sanusi II, who is now appointed as the 16th emir of Kano, particularly thanked President Bola Tinubu for not interfering and allowing relevant authorities in the state to handle the matter.
Sincere gratitude.
That was a wrong visual.
My brother, His Excellency, the Governor of the State, Engineer Abu Kabir Yusuf, my brother, His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, Comrade Amin Abu Salam, His Excellency, the Honorable Speaker of the House, for making this possible. I would also like to express my thanks to His Excellency the President, Alhaji Ashiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, without whose principled stance of non-interference in the internal affairs of the state, this would not have been possible. The President has shown that he is a respecter of the Constitution and the separation of powers. He recognizes that this is a purely local matter and that the government has a responsibility to do what is right for the state.
His first interview granted to TVC News shortly after he was reinstated as the Emir of Kano, 16th Emir of Kano. But the 15th Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, will also not let this go without a fight. He returned to the state amidst tight security and also gained access into the palace of the Emir in Nasarawa, where he holds courts. This Emirship standoff has also generated a huge conversation and heightened tension. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar condemned the deployment of soldiers to Kano State. He says this will upset the peace and security of the state, and it is also in breach of the 1999 Constitution as amended. But this Game of Thrones in Kano State is also an offshoot of a bitter political fight between two former governors, constantly trying to outwit themselves. There is no love lost between Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso and Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. Now the respected and revered Kano Emirate is the pawn on the chessboard of politicians. As we speak, Kano is on the edge as some residents and supporters of the 15th Emir Aminu Ado Bayero were on the streets to protest against the dissolution of the 5 emirates, which they say gives them a sense of belonging. The protesters also performed special prayers in favor of the deposed 15th Emir and even caused a bit of disorder during their protests. The Northern Traditional Rulers Council, under the chairmanship of His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, has called for restraints on the part of the two contesting emirs in the interest of peace and stability. Well, let's get deeper into this conversation with different views and opinions from my guests. They're all from Kano State. I have joining me now Professor Tijani Nania. Well, I understand Professor Tijani Nania, a professor of history from Bayero University, Kano, will join later on the program. But I also have joining me from Kano, Mohammed Jamo Yusuf. He is the special advisor to the governor of Kano State on international public relations. Also from Kano is Abdulrazak Ahmed, a lawyer. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello, can you hear me? I think the network is freezing a little bit.
Oh, yes, I can hear you. But let me start with Mohammed Jamo Yusuf, the special advisor to the Kano State governor on international public relations. Hello, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, my brother, and good evening, viewers.
Who is the Emir of Kano?
Alhaji Muhammad Sanusi II is the Emir of Kano.
Well, but there's a court order restraining the state government from carrying out that reappointment or appointment of Mohammed Sanusi II as the Emir of Kano. And as it stands today, the state government, Kano state government, has flouted or is in contempt of that court order. Does that not worry the states?
Well, Kano state government is a state that respects orders of the court. Whenever there is an order from the court, it will be respected. But in this instance, from the beginning of the process, up to the point where His Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, signed the bill, there was no court order. In fact, let me tell you, as I speak to you now, there is no order of the court before the state government. Because if there is, the bailiff of the court will have had evidence of giving the order to the State Attorney General's office. And the Attorney General has issued a statement that he has not seen any order or received any order of the court. So as I'm talking to you now, the only thing we know about that court order, we only saw it on the social media.
But
you know how this thing works.
Security chiefs in Kano State are saying that they will obey the order of the court. Which order are they referring to?
Well, we don't know. As far as I can tell you now, is the state government doesn't know any order because we have not seen it. But let me tell you what we saw. On the social media, we saw an order that was issued by one Justice Liman. Even Justice Liman, as I am talking to you now, Justice Liman is on vacation. He's in the United States of America. So when the order was issued, when we saw the order on social media, as far as we are concerned, we assumed that order to be fake. Up until when that order can be submitted to the state government through the office of the Attorney General, that is when we can recognize that there is an order. But as I'm talking to you now, it is only what we have seen on the social media.
Okay, let me bring...
And no, we have not seen the court saying serve the order through substituted means, either by pasting it on any wall or going to any national daily to issue the order. Okay, we are not aware about it, and the fact is our lawyers have not been informed.
Great. Let's hear from Abdulrazak. Hi, Abdulrazak. What's going on in Kano? Would you call these political interference?
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate being with you this evening. Actually, you see, it is very sudden and it's very, very unusual to see a constituted authority going against the law without even taking into cognizance that it is a law that make him sit on that seat he is, and that it is the law that empowered him to make whatever appointment or dethronement he's making. You see, it is obvious, even from the statement made by my brother, saying that they saw an order of the court on social media. It is real that we all have to believe that order of court is binding on all and sundry, and it is a notice to all the world. The moment order of court is given, whether it is direct, it is served on you personally or not, it is binding on you the moment it comes to your notice. It is no more news that there is an order of the court. If you are not challenging the order of the court that the judge wasn't around at the time the order was made, it's different thing accordingly. You are
okay, well, let's go back to Mr. Jamo now. Well, Mr. Jamo, we're talking about political interference. A lot of people are saying that this is politics at play because they insist due process was not followed.
Well, what is due process here? When the State Assembly, by the powers, the legislative powers, conferred of the State Assembly. The State Assembly has the right and power to suspend all its rules if it has a bill or a bill they want to pass. If they want to pass, the State Assembly can do the first, second, and third reading and pass that bill. So this bill went through the due process of law. It was passed. It had its first reading. Everybody was on notice. The next day, they did the second, the third reading, and they passed this bill. And they brought it before His Excellency, the Governor of the state. And the Governor appended his signature. And let me tell you one thing. During this process is when the State Assembly was going through their own procedure of passing the bill, up to the point when His Excellency, the Governor, appended his signature, there was no even news of any court order. I'm telling you, no, up to the time when the Governor at 5:10 p.m., when he announced the dethronement of the 5 emirs and the appointment of His Majesty, His Excellency, Alhaji Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, there was no news of any court order. So as far as we are concerned, the action was started and completed. And even the order that we saw on the social media is asking the parties to stop status quo ante should be maintained. So by the time we completed this procedure, for as far as we are concerned, even when we receive the court order, probably anytime from now, when the courts are back to work, the status quo ante that can be maintained is that the procedure has been completed, and that is where it can stand. There are several authorities from the Supreme Court on this.
Quite interesting. Now let's bring back Abdulrazak Ahmed. We understand we have been able to establish connection with him. Abdulrazak, what some people are saying is that the action taken by Governor Abba Yusuf is to right the wrong done by the Ganduje administration. What's your take on that?
Thank you. You see, whatever wrong you want to right, you must follow the law in doing it. Nobody is disputing the fact that the governor, if the State House of Assembly has made a law, can append his signature to make the law valid. But in a situation where we have 3 tiers of government, we have the executive who was empowered to make the law, we have the executive who is empowered to enforce the law, and we have the judiciary who is to interpret and settle dispute between 2 parties. Then each party should give the other its respect. Our contention as a lawyers is simply that if you are aware of an order of the court restraining you from moving further from a particular state you have, if you said the law has been passed, if you said you have appended your signature on the law, you're making it seal it as a law, you still have the duty in issuing the stamp of office to the person you so appointed. But the court said, no, wait until I hear the case before me before you do that. So you cannot go further. It is good that you respect the law so that the society will not be in anarchy. You see, the people of Kano, we are afraid of the situation today. Some of us will not go out of our houses because you don't know what will happen. And this is simply because the law was not adhered to stricto sensu. If we have adhered to law, we believe that the judiciary has made an order, and that order is binding upon all and sundry, and it is a notice to the whole world. You should have cautioned yourself and stayed that proceeding until and unless the court said otherwise. But you see, what I'm saying necessary. Me, I'm not a politician. I don't want to delve into political issues. But issues that relate to law is what concerns us. And that is what we're saying. If the law has said, don't go further from the particular position you are now. Wait. And it is a very simple thing. If you think the law, you are doing the right thing, go and challenge that order in court. Go and challenge whatever they file in court and see what the court will say. It's as simple as that. And that is why we are more emphatical on the fact that, no, this step is wrong and is to diminish the image of the judiciary and is to bring one of the arms of the government into disrepute. Because by the time you're saying that the judge is somewhere else, are you saying that the law does not permit a judge which is in UK through Zoom, like he was discussing with you now through Zoom? I was discussing on this program through Zoom. You are saying the judge is in UK, so he cannot make that order. This is so funny. This when you hear this from the people that hold the office in trust, you start questioning yourself whether this society will live in peace as it's going. We just pray for peace. All we are asking for is very simple. Let's respect the judiciary. Let's respect the law. Whenever the law says yes, let's say yes. The law brought you into that seat. In fact, you will know that just of recent, the Supreme Court have set aside decision of 2 lower courts in their favor. And they were jubilating, saying that the judge did the right thing. They were saying a lot of things about the judge because he did what they want. Is it now that the court is now saying, stay until I ask you to proceed, that the court is no more valuable, that the court is useless, that the order of court will not be reckoned with? I think we have to look into this. We are civilized people. We are people who should see being adherents to law. Most of us are Muslims. We are Muslims. Muslims are known to be respecters of law. So I see no reason why you should go against the law.
Okay, let's you said you're not a politician, clearly. Yeah, you're a lawyer. But now, away from politics and the law, let's talk about the people. You are also from Kano State, and you said you're in Kano State, you are afraid to go out. What's the situation in Kano State? What are the people saying? Do they approve of the decision of Governor Abba Yusuf to reinstate Emir Mohammed Sanusi II as the Emir of Kano?
You see, it is a misreaction. While you cannot dispute that those who are in support of the governor, the party members who come out to support what he has done, many others, you heard of what happened in Gaya today. You know what happened in Karaye. You know what happened in other Emirate councils. And you see what is happening in the Kano city today. In fact, I just passed through the State House. I saw the crowd carrying, what do you call it, saying that they must reinstate the former Emir Aminu. And you see, if care is not taken and security measures is not taken, this can generate to a very serious riot, which will take the lives of innocent people in Kano. So this is why we're saying it is a very simple thing. Respect the law. Respect the law. It is the law that put you on that seat. Just respect it. It's just a matter of time. Let the court determine whether what you did is right or not. It's just a matter of time. You have gotten to a stage that you are just waiting to cross the bridge. Okay, now the court says, wait, don't cross the bridge until I say do so. If you have waited for some weeks or days, the court will have decided whether you can cross the bridge or not. And that is why we are concerned. And that is why we, as a citizen of this state, were concerned, were disturbed. Why should this continue?
Okay, then, let's go back to Mohammed Jamo Yusuf. Mr. Mohammed, is the governor aware of the situation in Kano State? Does he feel the pulse of the people? Because we're hearing that it appears as if that state is sitting on a keg of gunpowder that might implode anytime. How is the governor handling the situation and ensuring that indeed peace is maintained?
Yeah, the government of Kano State and all the security government is to protect lives and properties. And as a government, we will do everything humanly possible to protect lives and properties of Kano people. We will ensure that nobody is hurt because of this tussle, and everything that needs to be done, the government is on top of the situation, and we will not allow anything to degenerate beyond what it is today. To the glory of God, already some of the emirs have already even come out to stand by the position the Kano State government has taken.
It appears we lost.
Stand by the position of the state government of deposing him. I don't know if you are hearing me.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
And then the gentleman has spoken quite a lot on issues that have to do with the order of the court. Okay, let's assume that I agree we have not received them. And I have a grasp of exactly what is happening as regards this particular issue. Already, this issue that was taken to the court is an issue of fundamental human right. The same issue of fundamental human right years back was taken in a case that Supreme Court has settled, Tukur versus Gongola. That was when the Emir of Muri was deposed by the then government of Gongola.
Well, technology is not our friend
has
today.
Been abused by his being deposed as the Emir of Muri. And in a wonderful judgment, the judges of the Supreme Court issued, I remember Justice Obaseki is one of the justices of the Supreme Court that issued that judgment. They ruled as thus that the Federal High Court does not have the power to interfere.
Well,
are you hearing me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes,
We're wrapping up now.
Okay, only the State High Court has the power to adjudicate on issue of Emirship, and that coming under the banner or hiding under the issue of human rights to approach the Federal High Court. The Supreme Court ruled that you cannot come because it is an ancillary issue. The substantive issue is the issue of his being deposed. That issue that he has been deposed, that is what brought about the issue of human rights. So even if the Federal High Court can hear his own issue of human rights, it cannot give a half-baked judgment. That means only ruling on the issue of human rights, the ancillary issue, and abandoning the issue of his being deposed. And the Supreme Court, in their own judgment, ruled that the Federal High Court does not have that power and they cannot give half judgment. So that matter was referred back to the State High Court.
Oh, well, I would like to thank you very much for your time on the program. Mohammed Yusuf Jamo, Special Advisor to the Governor of Kano State on International Public Relations. Also, Abdulrazak Ahmed, a lawyer from Kano State. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the program. Well.